What if the world's busiest man, the one revolutionizing Mars missions and electric cars, stopped everything for a stray puppy? This is the story of how a small act of kindness turned into a life-changing journey for both Elon Musk and a scruffy little dog. You won't believe what happened next. It was an early morning in Los Angeles, the kind of day where the sun cast a golden glow over the bustling city streets. Elon Musk, dressed casually in jeans and a t-shirt, was taking a rare moment to himself, strolling through the quieter corners of downtown. For a man whose days were consumed by transforming industries and imagining humanity's future, this moment of calm was almost unheard of. But the peace didn't last long. As Elon walked past the rows of storefronts and cafes, something caught his attention. Passers-by were pointing and smiling, not at him, as he might have expected, but at something behind him. Confused, he turned, and there it was, a small, scruffy puppy with matted fur and wide, hopeful eyes. The little dog was trailing him, its tiny paws patting determinately on the pavement. For a moment, Elon Musk stood frozen, staring at the scruffy little puppy. It wagged its tail harder, its big brown eyes filled with something he couldn't quite put into words: trust, maybe, or hope. This wasn't the kind of decision he was used to making. He could design rockets, disrupt industries, and reimagine the future of humanity. But a stray dog? This was uncharted territory. "Hey there, little guy," Elon said softly, crouching down to the puppy's level. The dog immediately sniffed his outstretched hand, then let out a tiny yip of approval before pressing its wet nose against his palm. A small crowd began to gather around the unusual sight. Elon Musk, the man whose name was synonymous with cutting-edge technology, now petting a scruffy stray dog in the middle of a Los Angeles street. Phones came out, capturing the moment, but Elon hardly noticed. His focus was entirely on the puppy, whose wagging tail seemed to say, "I'm not going anywhere without you." "All right," Elon murmured, chuckling softly. "Looks like you've decided I'm your guy." But then reality hit. Elon's day was packed. Meetings at Tesla, calls with engineers at SpaceX, and a lunch meeting about artificial intelligence. He couldn't exactly show up to boardrooms and rocket testing sites with a stray dog. Yet, the idea of leaving the puppy behind on the streets didn't sit right. He stood, brushing off his jeans as the dog trotted happily beside him, its tiny paws clacking against the pavement. Elon glanced around, hoping to spot someone who might claim the dog, but there was no one. No collar, no tag, no sign of an owner. His assistant, Anna, pulled up in a sleek Tesla moments later, ready to whisk him off to his next appointment. She stepped out, her professional demeanor faltering as she spotted the puppy. "Is that yours?" she asked, one eyebrow raised. "Not exactly," Elon replied, scratching his head. "He sort of found me." Anna glanced at the puppy, then at Elon, a knowing smile tugging at her lips. "So, what's the plan?" Elon hesitated. The logical part of him knew he couldn't keep the dog. His life was too hectic. But there was something about the little creature, something that made this decision feel bigger than logic. He looked down at the dog, who was now sitting at his feet, panting happily as if it had already found its home. With a sigh that was equal parts resignation and affection, Elon opened the car door. "Hop in, buddy," he said. The dog didn't need to be told twice. It leaped into the car with surprising agility, settling onto the passenger seat like it belonged there. The sleek Tesla sped through the streets of Los Angeles, the little puppy sitting proudly in the passenger seat, its tongue lolling out as it stared at the passing world. Elon couldn't help but glance over every few seconds, a smirk tugging at the corners of his mouth. "This isn't what I had planned today," he muttered, mostly to himself. The puppy let out a happy yip, almost as if to say, "Plans are overrated." By the time Elon arrived at Tesla's headquarters, word of his unexpected companion had already spread through the office. Employees peeked out from behind their workstations as he walked in, the puppy trotting dutifully by his side. "Is that a dog?" one engineer whispered to another. "It's Elon's dog," the other replied, as though it were the most natural thing in the world. Elon pretended not to notice the whispers, but he couldn't hide his grin. The puppy, blissfully unaware of its newfound fame, wagged its tail at every smiling face it passed. the office dog. As the day wore on, the puppy, now affectionately nicknamed Rocket by Elon's team, quickly became a favorite around the office. It curled up under Elon's desk during meetings, occasionally poking its head out to investigate the legs of unsuspecting visitors. At one point, during a high-stakes call about Tesla's next big project, Rocket decided it was time for attention. The puppy jumped into Elon's lap, causing the billionaire to pause mid-sentence. For a split second, the room froze, expecting Elon to shoo the dog away. Instead, he chuckled. "Sorry, Rocket has opinions too," he said, scratching the dog's ears before continuing the call as though nothing had happened. The room erupted in laughter, and Rocket officially earned its place as Tesla's unofficial mascot. The turning point. But as much joy as Rocket brought, Elon couldn't ignore the weight of his new responsibility. That night, as he sat at home, Rocket curled up at his feet, he found himself reflecting on the day's events. This little dog had come from nothing, a stray, wandering the streets with no one to care for it. Yet, it had chosen him, following him with unwavering trust. It hit him then. Rocket wasn't just a dog. Rocket was a symbol, a reminder that even in a world dominated by technology and progress, the simplest acts of kindness could create the most profound connections. Elon grabbed his phone and opened Twitter. He rarely shared personal moments, but this felt different. "This little guy followed me today," he wrote, attaching a picture of Rocket curled up beside him. Sometimes, the smallest things have the biggest impact. The story of Rocket and Elon Musk spread like wildfire. What started as a chance encounter between a tech billionaire and a stray puppy turned into a movement that captured the hearts of millions. Project Rocket wasn't just another initiative. It became a beacon of hope for countless animals and the people who cared for them. Rocket's picture graced billboards, news articles, and social media feeds. But for Elon, the real magic wasn't in the attention. It was in the quiet transformations that were happening. Shelters across the country reported record numbers of adoptions, with families inspired to give strays a second chance. Meanwhile, Rocket's life had transformed in ways the scruffy pup could never have imagined. From a lonely stray on the streets of Los Angeles, he was now a beloved companion, living a life filled with adventure and love. Rocket became a familiar face at Tesla and SpaceX. Employees adored him, often sneaking him treats during meetings or tossing him tennis balls in the hallways. During late nights at the office, he'd curl up beside Elon, offering a quiet kind of companionship that even the most advanced AI couldn't replicate. At home, Rocket became a cherished member of Elon's family. His children adored the little dog, and their laughter often filled the house as they played together. For Elon, those moments of joy were a reminder of what truly mattered. A year after Rocket first followed him down that Los Angeles street, Elon stood on a stage at a press event. But this wasn't about Tesla's latest car or SpaceX's next mission. This was about Rocket and everything he represented. Behind him, a massive screen displayed a photo of Rocket as he had been that first day. Scruffy, scared, and full of determination. "This little guy reminded me of something we sometimes forget," Elon began, his voice steady but filled with emotion. "In a world where we're constantly pushing forward, building, innovating, dreaming, it's easy to overlook the small things. But sometimes, it's the smallest acts of kindness that make the biggest impact." He paused, letting the words sink in. Rocket was just one stray dog, but his story sparked something much bigger. And that's the point. Change doesn't always start with grand gestures. It starts with one moment, one choice, one act of compassion. The audience erupted into applause, but Elon wasn't finished. "We've already raised millions for shelters and helped thousands of animals find homes through Project Rocket," he continued. "But there's so much more to do. And it's not just about animals. It's about how we treat each other. If Rocket can remind us to be kinder, more patient, and more willing to help, then he's done more than I ever could." As the event ended, Elon walked off stage, Rocket trotting happily beside him. The little dog had no idea how much he'd changed the world, how his journey had inspired millions to open their hearts and homes. But for Elon, that was the beauty of it. Rocket didn't need to know. He just needed to be himself. In the months that followed, Project Rocket expanded globally, with shelters and communities benefiting from the funding and awareness it brought. More importantly, people began to see animals not just as strays, but as lives worth saving. For Elon, Rocket became more than a companion. He was a reminder, a symbol of what truly mattered in a life filled with constant noise and ambition. As they sat together one quiet evening, Rocket resting his head on Elon's knee, Elon smiled and said softly, "You didn't just follow me that day, buddy. You led me. What would you do if a stray puppy followed you home? Would you walk away, or let it change your life forever?" Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. But here's something important. This story is fictional, created to inspire kindness and encourage good deeds. If even one dog finds a loving home because of this story, we'll consider our mission accomplished. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe to support our efforts and help spread this message of compassion. Together, we can make a difference, one act of kindness at a time.